My name is Svetlana. I live in St. Petersburg and I'm 29 years old. And I've been married, but now I'm divorced and I'm looking for a man to be together, to love each other and to feel relaxed together.
I am Елена Шафранова.
My name is Ksenia.
Людмила.
Tamara.
Елена.
Светлана Хромова.
Я жду счастья, любви, как сказки, жду я счастья, и мир прекрасен.
The type of woman that I want would be like most of these women. It's just physically trying to find the one that I have the right chemistry. And I had lunch with yesterday with Svetlana. We had conversation for 3 hours.
3 hours?
Very nice woman.
Very nice woman,
A
yes?
thinking woman. She shows more interest than some others. She talks and she asks a lot of questions. She's okay.
Свет любви погас, я его ищу, и как первый раз я любви хочу, только где искать, кто подскажет мне.
My name is Ina. I'm 31. I graduated from Moscow State University in linguistics, and then I worked in the bank. And unfortunately, our economic collapse finished my career.
Может где-то через расстояние годы.
I live here in this 2-room apartment with my mother. My son is 9 years old and my daughter is 8 years old. When we got divorced, my husband stood in his own apartment and we had no place to go, so we had to come here to my mother's apartment. It's too small for us and there is not enough place. I sleep together with my daughter, you know. I'm so sorry about it. When we are divorced in Russia, our men are not obligated to help, so my husband don't pay me alimony. No money. I have no support, no material support from him. I say, okay, you have to like your children and to feed them, at least. No, you imagine that's so nice to live alone without a husband. Please try. Until so, I'm trying.
Да, потому что лучше встречаться с мужчиной и узнавать, кто он.
There's been a tremendous boom in marriage agencies since perestroika, both in the US and in Russia. There are more than 80 agencies now in Russia that do nothing but this. They range from very big, very professional outfits to fly-by-night, one person sitting alone with a computer and a couple of addresses.
The difference between me and everybody else is I represent maybe 200 women. They represent thousands of women. I know all 200 women. I know their quirks, personalities, how bad their teeth are. I know the men. I know how they behave. I know that most of them are fairly successful men that have done pretty good business and are powerful in their own sphere, but socially they're total geeks and morons. And the last time that they saw a vagina was when they came out of it. What does a company like Dream Companion Services or any of the other Russian marriage agencies here in St. Petersburg, what are they about? Basically, we're about love, but we're more about power than love. We're empowering both individuals. We're empowering the woman to get out of Russia in a horribly economically depressed time where the infrastructure for education and for the various ways that a woman can normally get ahead are gone, and gone forever. A professional model here makes maybe $50 a month. What? How much do you make a month modeling?
Not more than 100.
Yeah,
As
100
usual.
bucks.
I go to the several agency to find some man because it was advice of my mother. Because she said you cannot wait more, you must go to do something, and if you cannot find Russian, try to find foreigner because you have a lot of choice. It exists normal good Russian man in Russia, but the most of time in my age, for example, Russian men 30, 35, they are married already. I must find the man who is divorced because I cannot break the family. I don't need a lot of men, I need only one, but a very serious one.
Russian women, they're looking for American husbands because they have traditional values and they want to have a real family. They just simply don't want to waste their time. They want to be happy today, now, and this is the great, excellent way.
I don't know exactly whether the Svetlana agency can help me. I was skeptical towards myself. A woman with 2 children and out of work. And I have a lot of minuses in my head about me, and this and that, and I was raped at the age of 10. And doctors told me, no, you will never be a mother, never have children. All my life I thought that I will never have children. And I know the price is very high for me to have them. So when I saw them, and I realized that it's a real miracle, for me it's a miracle. I like to have family. And I need a person, not only my children, but a person whom I can take care of and I can worry about everything. It's full, I need a full life. I hope that I can meet a man of my dream. If not, I wouldn't cry and suffer. But I hope something will happen.
I'm Елена Воскресенская, I'm 28. For me, it's a dream to have a white dress and bridegroom and all this marriage, all this ceremony. I mean, that is the dream of each woman. I would like to be in love with a man. Completely crazy, crazy, crazy. I can enjoy cooking. I can enjoy, for example, Cleaning the shirts of a man, it could be very pleasant for you when you are in love. At the same time, my career is very important too. At the moment, I'm working at one of the American real estate companies here in the city of St. Petersburg. I'm a property advisor. I have a daughter, and I have to be sure about her future. As all the American women, I'm career-oriented. And at the same time, family values are very important for me. And in my opinion, the head of the family, it should be a man. At the same time, with all my thoughts about the career and being independent. But I should respect a man. That is the most important thing for me. One day, it was an awful day in my life. I broke with my boyfriend. I was just reading a newspaper and I just came across the ad of Svetlana agency.
This girl play piano perfectly. She likes gardening. Actually, you like gardening. You like growing flowers, and she likes to do this also. So she will be in the list.
Yeah, you can put her on the list too.
She's independent and very, very feminine with the traditional values. She's looking for serious relationship.
Dating in Southern California for myself hasn't been so good. I guess put it in a nutshell, I went from no luck to bad luck.
This girl, she's beautiful, great figure, very charming, but very tough.
Very tough.
Yes. And
she kind of looks like she's tough, like she'd be hard, you know, not very soft.
yeah, you can see through her eyes.
Yeah.
I think you're looking for somebody more
A little bit
feminine, gentle,
more
soft,
softer, you know, the more sweeter look, tiny, petite,
yeah.
like you.
Thank you.
And this Ludmila
Ludmila
Akulova.
Akulova. Yes, Ludmila Akulova. She's 20 years old, and she's 5'7", and very slim. So I can say about this girl that she's beautiful outside and inside.
Yeah, she's a very beautiful girl.
Yeah, very friendly.
Yeah, I like this one.
2 дня мы провели в общей сложности. Вот в музей сходили, вот в агентстве первый день, а на второй день вот пошли вот в музей, там в Дом книги, как бы вот он и уезжал.
She didn't speak English that much. She could understand it and she could speak it a little bit, but for the most part, I had to sit down and I had to write out everything so we could communicate.
Потом Майк мне предложил приехать к нему в гости, ну я и согласилась. Как бы у нас такая получилась любовь с первого взгляда.
And she just looked at me with them big brown eyes and a big smile and said, yes, I would like that. The last date I'd spent with her, I said, okay, I'll work out the visa for you to come to visit me in California.
Love is really basically, in my opinion anyway, a trick of nature to get you to procreate. Marriage, on the other hand, is a business. An adult man, a man my age, he wants to hear about love. He wants to fall in love, and he will fall in love. And she will give him love. But in the end, it's a business.
I met Svetlana. She's really nice and professional from my point of view, because it seems that she knows all the girls by names.
Just take a look and you'll find plenty of charming and intelligent women.
At the same time, I think that she lives in the United States and she starts acting a little bit in an American way, because we Russians, we thinking about the soul and put soul in everything, and This Svetlana agency, it's just a commercial thing. There is no nice story about true love. When they have a Christmas party, they invite there the most beautiful 50 Russian girls and just 12 men. It's just not fair with us. And this man, they were trying to get every girl which was at this party, just to try this one, this one, this one. Sweets, candies. There is a kind of stereotype about Russian women that they have a huge desire to leave Russia because somewhere abroad they can find a more stable situation, and that they don't care about the person with whom they can leave just to leave Russia. It's not like that. It's a very serious decision to leave your country, to leave your parents, your family, your friends. We are brought up in Russia in the other way. We prefer to live where we were born.
The generation of our grandmothers, they got used that it's good only to have a man, without any difference whether he's bad or good, because after the Second World War, there was lack of men here, and they began to heal their wounds with alcohol. And our women told, okay, please, you are alive, and thank you for your being on earth. Now everything is changed, but this moral, we have it.
Russia went through a revolution, a civil war, major famines, the Gulag, mass arrests, a terror, and above all, World War II, in which 20 million Russians lost their lives. So that means you have a huge number of men raised without fathers, who've been spoiled by their mothers, and expect their wives to do everything. Also, because there's been such a population skew, women are desperate to find a man, and a lot of women in Russia would put up with behavior which American women would not tolerate.
You're hot, you're beautiful, you're 22, you speak 3 languages, highly educated, come from a good family. He is 46, he's got $2.3 million. He's never been married, he wants to have kids. You want to have kids, don't you? Yes, yeah, have kids. Oh, my body clock is ticking, 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 ticking. And I want to get the fuck out of Russia. Because if I stay here, I'm going to marry Boris, who ain't got 2 cents to put together to take a crap with. Couldn't buy toilet paper tomorrow if he tried. Where are you going to go? You're going to go with Boris the dickhead who's going to slap you around and get drunk? Fuck around on you the moment he gets you, you're pregnant? Or are you going to go with the American guy who's just dying to lick your calves?
My name is John O'Scanlan, and I live in Santa Barbara. I went to Russia just to have a good time. I did meet a lot of American men there, and they stay there because they can literally bounce from one Russian lady to another. One of the interesting things that happened when I started to meet a lot of Russian ladies was feeling so young again, you know, having so many beautiful women in their late 20s and 30s, literally at my disposal. It's another one of Ludmilla. Ludmilla and her daughter. Her daughter was quite beautiful. Let me move kind of fast. And there's Nadia. I must admit that I did take advantage of the situation. And then I decided that that really wasn't for me to go there to Russia every 2 or 3 months and just have sexual adventures. That's Ina. We were walking through the slush, and Ina was kind of avoiding the slush in a funny kind of a way, and I came to find out that she had big holes, she had no soles, and she had cut cardboard, and that was in the bottom of her shoes. And so I twisted her arm to bring her to a shoe store. I mean, I really twisted her arm. She did not want to do it. She would never take any money from me. It was very hard for me at first to buy her things. She just didn't want that. And so I finally convinced her to let me do this. I wasn't expecting anything in return. And I bought her these just beautiful boots. And she was so proud of them. I mean, they were neat boots. Here we have a master bedroom, dining room, kitchen. And here we have Castle O'Scanlan, complete with dungeon, secret rooms. When I have told some American men about my relationship with Ina, they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, why would you just settle with one woman when you can have so many? She was extremely classy, very intelligent. She spoke fluent English. She also had a very, very sad background. And it was a sadness in her life which made me want to help her. And in helping her, I became attracted to her. What does he say?
You will lose your head if you go right, you will lose your life if you go left. So you have to choose the road.
But they're all bad roads.
Yeah, all bad roads. It's
Wow.
Russia.
Oh.
Life in Russia has gotten harder and harder. Economic situation has gotten more and more difficult. Many of these women do want a better life, particularly those with children. American men are willing to marry a woman with a child, whereas a Russian man is really much more hesitant and will not consider the child as his, the way an American man will refer to our son or our daughter, even if he's not the biological father.
I was just a plain Russian girl from a normal, regular Russian family where father ran away with another girl when I was 13 and left me and my mother and my sister to survive on their own. This is very common. I was first married when I was 17 years old. He was 8 years older than me, and I was young and very inexperienced. While I was waiting for him at home, raising his baby, totally in love, waiting, yet he wasn't faithful to me. I was just very heartbroken. I thought I'll never love again, I'll never trust again. He needed a wife who would be always at home, housekeeping, wearing long skirt, never showing out of the house. I could be this way, but I couldn't wear a long skirt. And I didn't want to sit at home all the time. I wanted to do something with my life. After all, I always wanted to be an artist. And I knew I can do it. I don't miss much. I don't miss dirty streets and crude or rude people. I don't miss rain and frost and snow. No.
Russian men are notorious chauvinists, so this traditional role of a husband and a father as the ultimate ruler, that was very strong in Russia, and to a large degree, it still exists. But there are probably millions and millions of Russian men whose salary is so low that you would probably think it's impossible to survive. The level of their income is not such where you can safely create a family, raise a family, and be certain that it's a stable family, it will stay stable, and you have enough money to support it.
Life expectancy of Russian men is very short. It's now between 57 and 58. There's a problem with alcoholism. There's a problem with simply earning a living.
Actually, most Russian men really do sit around and drink, while most of foreigners, which those women see, most of Americans still sit around to drink, but most of foreigners of which those women see, they see successful men with riches, with self-confidence, able to take care of the children. So that is why Russian men usually don't stand in comparison with foreign.
In Russia, it's men world. The general opinion, the woman is weak. They have a weak brain, and this is general opinion.
Найти не проблематично. Просто русские мужчины, они, не знаю, эгоисты, как сказать. Как-то вот они все для себя, вот для женщины не особо.
When I was 22, I was married for about 7 years, and I don't have any children by that marriage. I had decided that I would try once again to get married and have a family. I really wasn't having much success in Los Angeles. So I gave a lot of time to thinking, where could I go to find a woman with traditional values, family values, and also where I could find someone young enough to safely have children. These women that I met were very interested in me, which was something I hadn't experienced from American women. They dressed much more in a feminine style. And I noticed this with girls on the street all over the place. They were very conscious of the way they dressed. When they went out of the house, they always wanted to look their best. Not nearly as casual as American women. When I first saw Elena, the thing that attracted me was that she was beautiful, dressed well, and yet at the same time I knew that she probably didn't have a lot of money, but she was still dressed well. And I got an intuitive feeling that this was the girl. The age difference between Elena and myself, depending on the time of year, it's going to be either 32 or 33 years.
When I first met Warren, I thought that he's a nice older man. I wasn't physically very attractive to him, but that didn't bother me at all. I'm very patient, and if he could give me everything else I wanted, I will become physically attractive.
I have a professor at the university who spoke like this. Where are the girls? We were always laughing at him.
I know that I am the knight in shining armor in her life, and I have saved this damsel, this Russian princess, from a very distressful situation.
But I like it.
I like this, yeah. What makes me happy? No, happiness of my children makes me happy, first of all. What else? When nobody hurts me. I'm happy already if nobody hurts me. My ideal life is peaceful life. Peaceful life without shocks and without fear. When you're pressed with fear every day that something will happen, another collapse, this fear is in you, in your genes, in our genes, Russian people. When I was 1 month old, my mother, she gave me to my grandmother and she brought me up, not my mother. I can't forgive her, you know, I was an orphan with the parents. I couldn't understand that. You know, if you're an orphan, you have no parents, you know it. You can blame only God or I don't know who. And I knew that I have parents, and maybe that's why I'm so fiercely against my husband and against the men who don't like their children, who don't like to spend time with them.
What?
I cracked several times, you know. Even I thought about suicide sometime. I began to think, oh, what for I'm living? Only to suffer and nobody needs me and so on and so forth. But my grandmother connected me and tied me to this life. And now I have these 2 children. And I will never think about it because I know for what for I'm living.
Of course, my life is better.
John gave me money to rent a flat.
It changed my life.
When we lived with my mother, all 3 of us were living in one room, and there were always problems with it. And finally, we have our own apartment, and both of them have their own rooms. $200 it costs. And you see the difference. Emotionally, all of us changed very much. My children became more free. They even start to get better marks at school, especially Alice. She was a little lower than Max because of all her problems with health. Now she's more attentive and she likes to study.
Ты в столбик будешь решать или как? Я? Ты. Нет.
John cares about me and my kids. It's very important for any mother, each mother, of course. They adore him. John wants very much 2 girls, twins, because he had no girls at all. He has 3 sons, and but I don't know exactly. It's just our guess, because I felt the baby very early.
Look how far Moscow is from St. Petersburg. It's a long ways.
You could walk, huh?
Novograd. Yeah.
I was at my friend's house talking about Russian women, and her father said, yeah, the Russian women are the most beautiful in the world, so. Way to go, Dad!
I'm not really sure. I'm still a little bit confused on the details of what's going on, but I don't know what to think, really.
You know my sons love? They just love it.
I kept the beat.
Hello?
Hello, my fine woman.
Oh, hello, John.
How are you?
I'm thinking, how are you?
Good, good. Everything going well with the kids and everything?
Yeah, okay. I was okay.
Pretty much decided that it's going to be maybe the 3rd week of October when I come and visit you again. I really love you, Ina, and I really miss you.
And I miss you too. More than you miss me.
I cannot say if John is an ideal man for me. We are not perfection, none of us, but I feel very close to John, really, and maybe I love him. I don't know, but...
Hey, I've delayed my trip to Russia.
You know, that doesn't surprise me.
I know, Ina's a little pissed off at me.
I haven't met Ina. I'm sorry. That's good.
Because she's on the other side of the world. She lives in St. Petersburg, Russia. I should show her some photographs.
Oh, she is beautiful.
But this is the morning after we first made love. And I bought her a gold chain. It's true.
So I'm going to meet John in half an hour. We'll be standing near the gates waiting for him. July, August, September. I haven't seen John for 3.5 months.
Mom, how are you? See you. Oh, back fine. I'm quite happy. I don't know if I can manage a full sentence.
I feel nice, wonderful as well.
We're gonna have a good time. I got some big surprises.
He's teasing me all the time
Yes.
about surprises.
Yeah. Little ones, but one real big one.
Okay, Sean, let's come over and get some lemons.
Ma,
Can you get those two underneath there?
up there.
Yeah, get those big ones there.
Oh, it's not exactly ripe.
Oh, okay.
Leave it. I still love America, maybe even more than before. Ну что, Ляль, все? Вот это только можно. In the past year and a half, we had another baby, which was Christian. He's just learning how to walk. He always wants to hold by two hands and walk. Oopty-doopty. Так. We now have 4 children, and so we had to hire a nanny. 4 kids. Probably it's time. Once kids get a little older, we would want to go back to Russia, just so they would see what it's like there and see where I grew up. And maybe they'll appreciate a little more what they have.
Elena's my sous chef, so basically I just stand around and point. But no, we're just kidding. More salt. Obviously, for me, the age is not an issue because she's so young and so blonde and so young. And what's your line?
Yeah, and for me, age is not an issue because he's so old and so rich and so old.
We often talk about what would have happened to me if I didn't meet Warren. And I can't see much of a bright future in Russia for me. Even before I met Warren, I was already pretty upset about the future that I could see for myself, because there couldn't be anything I could do in Russia that would be tied to my art and be able to support myself and my daughter. We have photographed all of my artworks, preparing a portfolio right now. I don't have to be in a hurry, make a lot of work and keep working and working so I'd feed my family. It's not like that. It's more of what I really want to do and show and tell people, that's what I'm going to do.
Warren helps me around the house with the children, and he cooks very well. And it's very easy to get along with Warren.
This is my present to you.
Does it have this? The key?
Underneath.
Wait. Wow.
Were you totally surprised? No.
You want me to just surprise me so much?
But you weren't totally surprised.
Oh, totally. I should... What?
I don't know. So we do have a lot of plans to make.
Yes.
Are you going to tell your children right away?
What about?
What about?
I just do not understand.
About us getting married.
I need time. Just a little.
We can not do it if you don't want to, you know.
What, dude?
Not get married.
I didn't answer immediately. And he was very, very confused, and it's painful for him because he misunderstood. We just misunderstood each other because he decided that I do not want to marry him at all.
I was hoping she would say yes right away. But it doesn't bother me.
And John was very upset. He was going to leave. He packed his suitcases and just threw me away with a child without any hesitations, and it was so easily done. I was disappointed. I was shocked with this. I felt unequal with him because he was preparing for a long time, and his decision was not immediate. He didn't ask me himself, but he wrote, yeah, and so did I. I told him yes.
For as much then as you, Michael, and you, Ludmilla, have come together in holy wedlock and have pledged your unending love and devotion to each other, by the authority invested in me by the state of Nevada, I pronounce you husband and wife. Michael, you may kiss your bride.
There's this in the limo. This is your favorite.
This is my favorite.
You like that one?
My goofy husband.
Goofy husband. What are we in, Princess? What's that, limo?
Limo, yes.
When she first arrived here, she couldn't speak English, and she picked it up pretty fast, probably, I would say probably about 2 months, 3 months after she arrived here. We didn't have to use the Russian-English dictionary anymore. And that was a big help, because communication is pretty tough when you can't communicate with one another. That's pretty hard.
Mike always told me, when you start speak English, you ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, before it was, in a way, it was kind of nice because she didn't ask me a lot of questions. Now that she speaks English, like, it's a lot of questions, or why this or why that. Like your children, they ask you why something is, and you don't know why. It's just the way it is sometimes. It's...
You know how he called me? My children wife.
No, I'm just joking, Princess.
Rush. First time I not really understand what is this, live long distance from your real original place, country, and your family. When I come here first month, I don't think about this. For me, everything was new and very interesting. I just always eyes like this. oh. But I right now feel what I live here already 100 years. And I already so much miss my family.
Here's our bedroom. All of my wife's stuffed animals. Bought her this one at Easter. Squeeze Bunny, Princess.
Squeeze.
See, rabbit.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What a baby.
We're planning on having at least one. Hopefully, a little girl. Right, Princess? Want to have a little girl?
Like this.
Little baby girl.
I've got my car half year ago. During last year, I was promoted. I was offered the position of the sales manager in Moscow. I'm still single. Svetlana agency. They're just making money. For the first, I think, half a year, they seemed to be very active. They were calling me, you've got a ladder, please come up. There is a man coming in. He has chosen you as one of candidates, and please get acquainted to his portfolio and so on. I've got 5 or 6 dates by then. There was just one guy. He seemed to be not so bad. We had a nice evening. But later on he said, will you join me? And shall we have some sex? I said, pardon, I'm not ready to do that since the very beginning. That is not the way I do. It's very strange when you meet the man who is something like 50 years old and who says that he hasn't been married. I mean, it seems to me that when you're 50 years old, you at least should have some experience in a family life. Maybe it's a little bit rude, but I think that most of them, they're losers. They start looking for the women in Russia. They think that we're not so well doing, and we would be happy to get somebody more or less stable somewhere abroad in the other country. And I can say that it's not like that. My income is not so huge, but I'm rather independent here in Russia, and I would never agree with a person who treats me the way I don't want to be treated. At the moment, I prefer to be focused on the career instead of waiting to get married. I keep hoping, but this fairy tale way of life, it seems to be close to impossible. Life is very strange and difficult sometimes. It comes with the years. The possibility to understand that what you have at the moment is not so bad, and you should be glad with that.
I have to ask you some security questions. Did you pack by yourself?
Yes.
Were your bags always at your side?
Yes.
And nobody gave you anything for which you don't know, they can't around you? Thank you.
Ina was on a crowded bus, and the bus tried to avoid a drunk man in the street. Couldn't avoid, slid on the ice, hit the man, and all the passengers fell forward, and one big, very large man fell on top of Ina. She was fine, she wasn't hurt, but after she went home, she started to feel pains inside. And her doctor said, go to the hospital right away, and I'll meet you there. And she went to the hospital, and shortly thereafter, she miscarried. And she was over 6 months pregnant, so it's a real tragedy. I think she needs me there, and so I'm on my way.
Yeah, and Alice wrote me a note and put inside. I noticed only today.
Oh, really?
Yes, and she wrote, please marry John.
Oh, shake her. You should tell her why I'm shaking her hand.
Потому что ты записку положила в музыкальную. I'm hiding my emotion. When I'm upset and I feel bad emotionally, I cannot show it to anybody that I'm stressed. And it's very, very bad contradiction. When you have to show that you're smiling, very nice, feeling, cool person, and inside you have such a bad load of all problems, and it's ruining you. Сколько?
$350.
One of the problems that Ina has is that she's worried about what she will do in the United States. But of course, she'll have 2 kids, but we'll always have an au pair. We used an au pair to help raise my 3 boys, and I want to have that for Ina. But I think Ina should be an author. I think she should write novels about Russian women and the experiences of Russian women. I think her life story would be absolutely fascinating for American women to read.
Women in America, they get more respect from men than women in Russia. Probably because you have all this freedom of speech and equal rights. And in Russia, although Communist Party always wanted everybody to be equal, and that's what they said, there isn't much respect for women in that way. They're not really treated equally, I don't think. I have changed since I came here. I realized that this is the way things should be. When I was here only for a couple of months and we went to the Getty Museum, the security guard was sort of chasing me around the museum, and at that time I didn't realize that all I should do is just go complain to someone and it would be taken care of. To me it was kind of like, well, security guards in other museums in Russia chased me all the time, and I never thought about complaining or being offended. Before I wouldn't stand up for myself like this. I'd just let it slip, make it look like I didn't hear or something. And now I just feel more secure and stronger about myself.
You want some milk?
Milk.
Okay, we'll get you some milk.
Warren gave me everything I have ever dreamed of. The simple house, a bunch of kids, a time to do my art, a beautiful yard with flowers, and a very good weather in a very stable country. I can't imagine anything I would want to get more.
So, Max, you happy?
And you?
Hell, da.
Спасибо надо говорить.
So we're gonna go back to the apartment and eat popcorn and watch a movie. You know, true Americana. The Americanization of Ina, Max, and Alice.
Горизонт, снова мне открой. Ветер странствий мне сулит опять надежду. Ветер странствий за собой меня зовет. Может снова буду я любить, как прежде. Может снова свет любви меня найдет. Ветер странствий мне сулит опять надежду. Ветер странствий за собой меня зовет. Может снова буду я любить, как прежде.
For you? Cheers. Good. Harashu, right? Did I say that right? Harashu?
Yeah. Хорошо.
Harashu.
I really still do not know myself what I feel about moving to America, because it's absolutely unknown. It's like a exploring of something unknown, and so I am excited, sure.
Может быть, во сне ветер странствий гонит сердце непогоду. Ветер странствий за собой меня зовет. Ветер странствий мне сулит опять надежду. Ветер странствий за собой меня зовет. Может снова буду я